All right, let's get straight to the point. Your personal brand is not a luxury, it's a necessity. And the best part, you don't need to wait for the perfect moment, the perfect setup, or the perfect anything. You can start today. We all know the world is moving faster than ever, and opportunities are everywhere. But what sets successful women apart is how they show up, how they position themselves, communicate, and make people remember. Building a personal brand isn't about being perfect or having it all figured out. It's about being bold, authentic, and consistent. It's about showing the world who you are, what you stand for, and why you matter. It doesn't matter where you are in your journey right now. What matters is that you take control of the narrative. So, let's talk about how you can start building a brand that's uniquely yours. One that empowers you to take charge, influence others, and ultimately unlock the doors to success you deserve. Let's dive in. When it comes to building a personal brand, the foundation is built on authenticity. In a world where it's easy to get lost in the noise of what others are doing or expect of you, embracing who you truly are is the most powerful thing you can do. Authenticity isn't about being perfect, polished, or following a script. It's about showing up as yourself, flaws and all, and letting the world see the real you. This might sound simple, but in practice, it requires vulnerability, courage, and self-awareness. To build an authentic personal brand, you need to understand who you are at your core. This means reflecting on your values, passions, strengths, and even weaknesses. It's about recognizing what drives you, what excites you, and what you're truly passionate about, rather than simply doing what's trendy or expected. People are drawn to authenticity because it's relatable. They can sense when someone is being real with them, and they connect with that on a much deeper level. When you align your brand with your true self, it resonates with others because it feels genuine, and it gives them permission to do the same. But embracing authenticity doesn't mean that you have to reveal everything about yourself or overshare your personal life. It's about staying true to your values and the message you want to share while still maintaining boundaries that protect your privacy. Being authentic means showing up with consistency, staying aligned with your core principles, and being unapologetic about what makes you unique. It means making choices that reflect your inner truth, whether it's in the content you create, the way you communicate, or the way you show up in your daily life. What's important is that authenticity requires self-acceptance. It's easy to compare yourself to others, especially when building a personal brand. With the rise of social media, everyone is showcasing their best selves, filtered photos, polished videos, perfectly curated feeds. But behind those images is often an unrealistic portrayal of perfection. And if you fall into the trap of comparing yourself to others, it can be easy to lose sight of your own strengths. Instead, focus on what makes you different and valuable. Your unique perspective, experiences, and approach to challenges are what will make your personal brand stand out. The world doesn't need another version of someone else, it needs the real you. And that means being vulnerable enough to share your story, even the messy parts. Authenticity doesn't mean you have to have everything figured out. It just means you're open about the journey. It's about showing people that you've faced challenges, made mistakes, and learned from them. It's about being honest and transparent in your interactions and letting people see the human side of you. That vulnerability creates a connection, one that can't be replicated by someone trying to be something they're not. When you embrace your authenticity, you also build trust. People are more likely to trust someone who is real with them rather than someone who tries to present a false image or hide behind a facade. Trust is a key element of any successful personal brand because it fosters loyalty and engagement. When people trust you, they feel more comfortable supporting you, whether that's by following you on social media, purchasing your products or services, or recommending you to others. Authenticity becomes the foundation of those relationships, and trust is the glue that keeps them strong. In the process of building your brand, you'll encounter pressure to conform to certain expectations. Maybe it's the pressure to follow trends, to fit a particular mold, or to make yourself more palatable to a wider audience. But the truth is, the more you try to be what others want you to be, the less likely you are to attract the people who genuinely align with your message. Authenticity attracts the right people, those who resonate with your values and the way you present yourself. You don't need to appeal to everyone, just the people who will truly appreciate what you have to offer. To truly build a personal brand rooted in authenticity, it's essential to regularly check in with yourself. Ask yourself if the content you're creating or the decisions you're making are aligned with your true values, or if they're being influenced by external pressures. If you're ever unsure, take a step back and reconnect with your inner self. When you're rooted in authenticity, you'll find that your personal brand will evolve naturally, without the need for forced effort or pretending to be something you're not. Authenticity is a journey, not a destination. It's about consistently showing up as the best version of yourself and staying true to your unique voice. And when you do, you'll not only build a personal brand that's meaningful and sustainable, but you'll also inspire others to do the same. By being authentic, you not only stand out, you become someone people want to follow, support, and learn from. Consistency is the backbone of any successful personal brand. It's not enough to just show up once in a while or post sporadically. Building a strong, recognizable brand requires regular and consistent effort. The power of consistency lies in its ability to create familiarity, establish trust, and reinforce your message over time. When people see you continuously delivering the same message, style, and values, they begin to understand what you stand for. And this is what builds recognition and loyalty. One of the biggest mistakes many people make when building a personal brand is inconsistency. They might post a few times, get a little traction, and then disappear for weeks or months. This inconsistency creates confusion. Your audience doesn't know what to expect from you, and over time they lose interest or forget about you altogether. In a world where people are constantly being bombarded with information, staying at the forefront of their minds requires consistent, reliable. To build consistency, you need a clear understanding of who you are, what you want to communicate, and how you want to show up. This means defining your core values and ensuring that everything you do aligns with those values. Whether it's the tone of voice you use, the topics you discuss, or the visuals you share, your message needs to be the same across all platforms. For example, if you are someone who champions sustainability, you shouldn't suddenly start promoting products or services that go against those values. Consistency doesn't just apply to the content you share, it also applies to the principles you uphold. Consistency is also crucial in the way you present yourself. Think about some of the most iconic personal brands out there. They are instantly recognizable. Whether it's a specific color palette, a distinct visual style, or a particular way of speaking, these brands have developed a visual identity and tone that's unmistakable. This doesn't mean you have to be flashy or over the top, but having a consistent aesthetic and voice across all of your platforms can help solidify your brand in people's minds. Consistency in how you show up visually allows your audience to identify you quickly, even when they're scrolling through a crowded feed. It's the little things, like using the same filter for all of your images or always following the same pattern in your content, that help reinforce your brand identity. Moreover, consistency doesn't just mean showing up regularly. It means showing up in a way that people can count on. If you say you're going to post a new video every Tuesday, you need to deliver on that promise. If you commit to engaging with your followers every day, you need to follow through. Being reliable and dependable helps build trust with your audience. They begin to feel like they know you, like they can rely on you, and that trust is what turns casual followers into loyal fans. When you are consistent, your audience doesn't have to wonder if you're going to show up. They know you will, and they come to expect it. But here's the thing, consistency doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It's not about posting flawless content every time or having a perfectly curated feed. Life happens, and sometimes things don't go as planned, and that's okay. The key is to be consistent in your approach, not in the perfection of your output. Consistency means making the time, no matter what, to keep showing up and delivering something of value, even if it's not always perfect. In fact, showing your imperfections can humanize you and make you more relatable, which is an important part of being authentic. The process of building consistency also involves setting realistic goals for yourself and sticking to them. It's easy to get excited at the beginning of your personal branding journey and overcommit, thinking you can do it all. But this often leads to burnout or inconsistency because it's not sustainable in the long run. Start by setting manageable goals that you can realistically achieve. This might mean posting once a week, or committing to engaging with your audience for 30 minutes a day. As you gain confidence and experience, you can increase the frequency or scale of your efforts. The most important part is to stay consistent with whatever you decide to commit. Another aspect of consistency is being adaptable while still staying true to your brand. As you grow and evolve, so will your personal brand. It's important to recognize when certain strategies or approaches aren't working and be willing to pivot. However, even in the face of change, consistency in your core message and values is vital. For example, If you're shifting the focus of your brand to a new topic or audience, make sure the essence of who you are and what you stand for remains intact. Consistency in the core of your brand allows for growth without losing what made people resonate with you in the first place. Consistency is what allows your brand to become more than just a fleeting moment in time. It allows it to become something memorable, something that people trust and recognize. When you show up consistently, you're building a relationship with your audience, and that relationship is what will fuel your success. So whether it's posting content, engaging with your followers, or staying true to your values, remember that it's not about doing everything perfectly, it's about doing it consistently. In today's digital age, your online presence is one of the most powerful tools you have for building a personal brand. The internet is not just a place where people find information, it's where they form opinions, build connections, and engage with others. If you want to make a lasting impression, you need to be intentional about the way you show up online. Your online presence is more than just a collection of social media profiles. It's the digital representation of who you are, what you stand for, and the value you offer to. Building a strong online presence starts with understanding where your audience is and how they consume content. There are countless platforms out there, from Instagram and YouTube to LinkedIn and TikTok, and it can feel overwhelming trying to be everywhere at once. The key is to focus on the platforms that align most with your brand and where your target audience is most active. If you're someone who shares visually driven content, Instagram or Pinterest might be your go-to platforms. If your brand is more professional or business-oriented, LinkedIn could be the best choice. The idea is not to spread yourself thin by trying to master every platform, but to focus on a select few where you can consistently create meaningful, engaging content. Once you've chosen your platforms, it's essential to create a cohesive and professional online presence. This means making sure that your profiles, images, and bios reflect your brand identity. Whether you're a coach, an entrepreneur, or a creative professional, your online profiles should be tailored to reflect who you are and what you offer. Your profile picture, cover photo, and bio should all work together to tell a clear story about your brand. This is the first thing people will see when they come across your social media or website, so make sure it's representative of the image you want to project. Think of your online profiles as digital business cards. They should clearly communicate your value and make it easy for others to understand what you're all about. A strong online presence also requires you to be active and engage with others regularly. It's not enough to simply post content and hope that people will find it. You have to show up and interact with your audience. Engagement is key to building relationships, and relationships are at the heart of personal branding. Respond to comments, participate in conversations, and take the time to connect with your followers. This doesn't just apply to social media. Engaging with others can also mean contributing to relevant online communities, whether through commenting on blogs, participating in forums, or collaborating with others in your field. By actively engaging online, you show that you're approachable, accessible, and genuinely interested in connecting with others. This not only boosts your visibility, but also helps build a community of people who are invested in your brand. Another crucial element of building an online presence is content creation. Your content is the vehicle through which you communicate your brand message to the world. Whether it's written articles, videos, podcasts, or images, creating valuable and consistent content is essential for establishing your authority in your niche. Quality matters, but so does frequency. Consistently sharing your expertise, insights, and ideas helps position you as a thought leader and keeps you top of mind for your audience. Your content doesn't always have to be groundbreaking or overly elaborate. It just needs to be relevant, authentic, and useful to your audience. If you can create content that addresses the needs, questions, or pain points of your audience, you'll quickly build credibility and trust. It's also important to diversify the types of content you share. Different people consume content in different ways, so varying your approach ensures that you reach a broader audience. Some people might prefer watching a video, while others prefer reading a blog post or listening to a podcast. By experimenting with various content formats, you increase your chances of connecting with a wider range of people. The key is to make sure that whatever type of content you create, it remains consistent with your overall brand message and values. Diversifying your content doesn't mean diluting your message. It means finding multiple ways to communicate the same core message. Your online presence also involves building credibility through social proof. Social proof refers to the idea that people tend to trust and follow the actions of others. Especially when they see others supporting or recommending something, This can come in the form of testimonials, reviews, case studies, or even simply seeing others engage with your content. Social proof acts as validation for your personal brand, helping to build trust with potential followers or clients. If you can showcase positive feedback from others, whether it's a testimonial from a satisfied client or a mention in a respected publication, it boosts your credibility and demonstrates that you're a trusted authority. Finally, to truly establish a strong online presence, you need to be patient. Building an authentic and impactful online presence doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, consistency, and effort to grow your audience and cultivate meaningful relationships. The key is to stay committed and keep showing up. Over time, the value of your content, the engagement you create, and the connections you make will compound. And your online presence will grow into something that can drive opportunities, influence, and success. Your online presence is an extension of your personal brand, and it's one of the most powerful tools you have at your disposal. When you take the time to build it intentionally, engage with your audience, and provide consistent value, you set yourself up for long-term success and recognition. Your online presence is how the world sees you, so make sure it accurately represents who you are and the value you bring. When it comes to building a personal brand, developing a strong voice and message is one of the most important steps you can take. Your voice is how you communicate with your audience, and your message is what you're telling them. Together, they create the foundation of your brand, influencing how people perceive you, how they connect with you, and how they engage with your content. Having a clear, authentic voice and a compelling message allows you to stand out in a crowded digital space and forge lasting connections with those who resonate with what you stand for. The first step in developing your voice is understanding who you are and what you want to communicate. Your voice isn't just about how you speak or the tone you use, it's about the essence of your character, your values, and the unique perspective you bring to the table. It reflects your personality and your approach to the world. For example, if you're someone who believes strongly in empowerment and motivation, your voice might be uplifting, inspiring, and optimistic. If your expertise is in a technical field, your voice might be more authoritative, direct, and educational. The point is that your voice should be authentic to who you are. People can tell when someone is trying to sound like someone else, and that disconnection can make your message feel less genuine. And once you have a sense of your authentic voice, the next step is to develop a clear message. Your message is the core idea you want to share with your audience. The reason you're building your personal brand in the first place. It's the why behind everything you do. A strong, clear message helps to define your brand and gives it direction. Whether your goal is to inspire, educate, entertain, or inform, your message should remain consistent across all platforms and interactions. It should communicate not just what you do, but why you do it, and why it matters to the people you want to reach. In a world filled with noise, having a clear message that speaks to a specific audience is crucial. When you're building a personal brand, it's easy to fall into the trap of trying to please everyone or speak to every demographic. But the most successful brands are those that have a clear, targeted message and audience. By focusing on the people who resonate with your message, you can build deeper, more meaningful connections. You don't need to be everything to everyone. Instead, focus on how you can serve a particular group of people with a message that speaks directly to their needs, desires, and pain points. The next aspect of developing a strong voice and message is consistency. Once you've identified your voice and message, it's vital to ensure that you're consistent in how you communicate them. Whether it's through social media posts, blog articles, videos, or even in your personal interactions, maintaining consistency in your tone and messaging helps reinforce your brand and makes you more recognizable. Consistency builds trust, as your audience comes to know exactly what to expect from you. If you're constantly shifting your tone or changing the message you put out, it can create confusion and diminish the credibility of your brand. A consistent voice helps your audience connect with you on a deeper level, as they know what you stand for and can rely on you to stay true to your. One important thing to keep in mind when developing your voice and message is to remain adaptable. While consistency is key, that doesn't mean you can't evolve. Over time, as your brand grows and your audience shifts, it's important to reassess your message and voice to ensure they still resonate with your current audience and reflect who you are. Adaptability doesn't mean changing your core message, but refining it as you gain more insights into what your audience wants and how they're responding to you. This ongoing process of evolution ensures that your voice and message stay relevant and impactful, even as the landscape of your industry or niche shifts. Additionally, your voice should